do a shot every time Bella asks Edward to change her. Am I right? Also, this is just water. Please don't demonetize me. Just kidding. Actually, you can't because I'm not monetized. Well, hi. My name is Nikki. Welcome to another one of my videos. I will admit that I was very into Twilight as a teenager, and I haven't really given it much thought since, but all 5 movies just dropped on Netflix, so everyone is talking about it all over again. Wait, Nikki, how can there be 5 movies if there were only 4 books? That's showbiz, baby. Before we get started on this journey together, there are 2 things that we all just need to accept about this movie. One is that the color grading is very strange. The entire movie is tinted blue for some reason. And 2 is that all the dialogue features constant, incessant, heavy breathing for no reason. We just need to accept these things if we're going to get through this. Now, the movie begins with the main character, Bella Swan, moving to a small town called Forks. Something that vampires don't use. Right off the bat, there are several Easter eggs for fans of the book, so it's clear that this movie is going to be all about fan service. The problem with fan service movies is they don't always stand on their own, i.e. they can be hard to follow if you aren't already familiar with the subject matter. There's also narration by Bella throughout the movie straight from the book, which could be fan service, but is more likely just sheer laziness. Also, now that we know Kristen Stewart more, it's really odd to see her in this role with this headband, but I digress. So Bella moves to this town and she's meeting all these new people. Ah yes, the main native character played by a decidedly non-native who happens to look vaguely non-white trope. But I do want to say that the Quileute tribe depicted in this movie is a real tribe indigenous to the area. So no, I'm not saying that any indigenous actor from a different tribe is just interchangeable here, but it would have been a step in the right direction, and it could have been a great opportunity to feature a young indigenous actor in this huge blockbuster role. And if no indigenous actor is coming to mind for you, that further proves the point. Also, yes, I'll mention here that the depiction of the Quileute tribe as these mystical, magical beings who turn into violent, aggressive werewolves has been documented as problematic. But that's more the second movie, which I did try to watch the second movie, but I fell asleep. And even before that, I started the third movie thinking it was the second movie, and these films have just such blatant plot holes that it took me a solid 20 minutes to even realize that I had missed a whole movie in between. Okay, so Bella goes to her new school where we meet the Cullens, who are the vampires in this vampire movie. Why is everything in this movie blue? Sorry, I didn't realize I was watching the Smurfs movie. And what is with all these flags? Is this tiny town in Phoenix some international cultural hub that I don't know about? Oh, just kidding. It's in Washington State. I rest my case. To be honest, I can't look at Kellen Lutz and not picture him in his underwear. Did he do an underwear campaign, or is that a teenage dream that I had? That did happen, right? Oh yeah, he did do an underwear campaign, and it's a lot. But now, Kellen Lutz underwear is in my image search history. Cool. I'm not including the photo here, so you have to look it up yourself and end up on whatever watch list I just did. Then Bella goes to science class and meets Edward Cullen for the first time. This is her love interest for this series, and their first meeting is quite romantic.
Last one. Just follow along to catch up. Right.
What is this phallic thing on the board? It's symbolic of the sexual tension building between Edward and Bella. No, actually, a planaria is a flatworm, so science. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Bella tells her mom about her first day at school.
It doesn't even matter.
Yes, it does, honey.
I have homework to do.
Which is why you just closed your book, right? So then Edward and Bella are back in science class, and this time they do speak to one another. And it's supposed to set the tone for the supposed romance between these two. So I'm going to play the clip in its entirety because this really sets up their chemistry. Get it? Science class? No? Okay. Not long after this, Bella says that she, and I quote, is unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. So here it is.
Hello? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to introduce myself last week. I'm Edward Cullen. You're Bella?
Yes.
I don't appreciate Ladies first.
You were gone.
Yeah. I was out of town for a couple of days. Personal reasons. So you're enjoying the rain? What?
You're asking me about the weather?
Yeah, I guess I am.
I don't really like the rain.
Here's the problem with this. It's no secret that this franchise was directed toward a young teenage audience. So this portrayal of baseless love and a relationship that's really just based on nothing just really annoys me. Half the movie, he's not even nice to her. And I know that teenage relationships can be like that, but is it chicken or the egg? Does teenage media portray relationships like this because this is how teenage relationships are? Or are teenage relationships like this because this is how they're portrayed to them? Then Bella confronts Edward about being a vampire, and he decides to reveal himself to her in the sun.
This is why we don't show ourselves in sunlight. People would know we're different. This is what I am. This is the skin of a killer, Bill.
Am I missing something? Wow, they really built that up, and it was just not a big deal. Hey, wow, is that a new sparkle palette? Don't look at me. I'm a monster.
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life.
Romantic. I've never wanted to kill anyone more. Aw, babe, you shouldn't have.
I can't read your mind. You have to tell me what you're thinking.
What do you want?
What she should want is to run very far away. Then Bella goes to meet Edward's family at their home.
Yeah, this is my room.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come back to me.
I'm not scared of you.
Well, you really shouldn't have said that. You better hold on tight, Spider Monkey.
Spider monkey? As a term of endearment? Okay, two things. He's trying to scare her, so this seems like a healthy relationship. Also, were the visual effects always this bad? I don't remember that. It's not like this was 1992. This was 2012. Actually, what year did this come out? 2008. Okay, I'm getting old. But still, why did the effects look this bad? It's so bad that it had to have been intentional, like as a stylistic choice. I know all the different movies had different directors, but this just looks whack. So then Bella and the Cullens go play baseball in matching outfits.
Monkey man.
What is with this family and monkeys? But then the bad guys come, so Bella has to run away and hide in a hotel. But not a hotel in Washington State, a hotel in Valencia, California, where the industry happens to film everything. And that potted cactus that they added here is not fooling anyone. Also, it's missing from this evening shot, so A+ for effort. Then the bad guy bites Bella, and Edward has to suck the poison out of her arm. I'm so uncomfortable. Why does this movie have to be so needlessly sexual? What the After Edward saves her, Bella's in the hospital for her broken bones, and they tell the doctors and Bella's mom that she fell down a flight of stairs, which everyone just believes, even though she has giant bite marks on her arm that literally leave a huge scar, as seen in the next movie, that Jacob notices within 2 seconds of seeing her, but that her parents never notice or mention. Neglectful parents of teens, what can you do? In the end, Bella and Edward go to prom together, and their undeniable romantic chemistry flourishes.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure you out. You're very difficult for me to read.
Hey, did you get contacts?
Honorable mention is that everyone in this movie is eating red vines and it's never addressed. Either red vines are very popular in forks or just popular with Crafty on set. But let's be honest, this movie's worst crime is that there isn't more of Jacob in it, but basically the whole next movie is about him. So let me know if I need to do a review of the next one. But for now, I feel like I just need to go shower and wash this god-awful train wreck of a movie off of me. So thank you for watching and I'll catch you next time.